Stand and do the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Public discussion. Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the agenda and minutes dated November 1st?
So moved.
Motion by Stecker, second by Platt. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. Take a minute, everybody, to review the claims if you haven't done so yet. Any discussion on the claims?
Yeah, the one for the supervisors, I want my name taken off of that idols. There's no sense in me going to a meeting on December 10th when I'm out January 2. I ain't wasting taxpayers' money. So take my name off it.
Mine also.
Did Marge make those? Did
Yeah, Marge
make
made
those?
them.
Okay, so I will let her know.
When I talked to Brittany yesterday, she said she hadn't mailed the check yet. So we were supposed to let her know by today whether we were going or not.
Okay, I will do that.
So if you tell her, do you want us to tell her?
No,
Thank you. Are you for open, Shannon?
Pardon me?
Are you for open discussion?
Yes.
You do.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to follow up to see if our motion to intervene was filed in a timely fashion. Because on the IUB site, anyone that wanted to participate in the oral arguments had to file a brief by November 10th. And my understanding, I wasn't at the meeting when you voted, but my understanding is the motion was made to hire Tim Whipple.
Correct.
To take care of all that, so just wanted to update, make sure that got done.
We didn't get included in the brief, but we get it included in the petition to
intervene.
intervene. Yeah, I was thinking of that word. Yeah, so we are included in the intervene portion.
Well, as of Friday, when you checked on the site, Cassuth County was not listed.
I believe he'll be filing the motion to intervene this week.
Pardon me?
I believe he'll be filing the motion to intervene this week.
But he won't be able to go in front of the board and do an oral argument for our county, correct, since the deadline was missed?
No, that deadline was for a briefing, not for the intervene. There is no deadline for a motion to intervene.
So what would the briefing be, or what, I mean?
Well, if you want to participate in the oral arguments in front of the IUB board, it had to be filed by November 10th. That's right from their website.
But he did file a petition to intervene, so I don't know if your name had to be on it or not.
Okay. So what about the ordinance part of it then?
He's gonna write the ordinance.
He's gonna take care of that for us?
Yes.
Did he give you any time frame?
No.
Sooner the better, I imagine.
Right, yeah, time is definitely of the essence, so. That's all I was wondering, I just was
Okay.
curious.
So when, 2 weeks ago, we made that decision to do it by the 10th, we did or didn't get in what we needed to get in?
I think we got
Because we made that decision
Right,
pretty quickly because we wanted to get it, since we didn't have a meeting on the 8th, to make sure we got it on the 10th.
We are going to intervene,
Okay.
and that's the main part of it.
Well, and that's, I was kinda curious about that with the emails from Tammy the other day with that stuff. I looked over, there was a typo on Sway City, but otherwise, the rest, I didn't, it was just kind of legal stuff, but, if that hadn't been filed, I mean, that was well after the 10th, so I don't know if that fits the timeline or not.
When I talked to Mr. Whipple yesterday, he said there's no deadline for a motion to intervene. There is not one, and so that will be filed this week. He will be representing Cassuth County, for the motion to intervene and will be representing them in December. So that has not changed.
Cause that other thing you told me yesterday, that was for, I can't remember the
It's
word.
a brief for,
Pre-
yeah, and I don't, not an attorney, so I don't know what that means, but, so that, our name is not on that, but he will still be representing us for the motion to intervene and speaking on our behalf for that, as well as drawing up the ordinance.
So we have a voice.
Okay, well, we as landowners can't talk to Tim. He'll only speak to an elected county official. And so, you know, we kinda gotta hound you guys for information. And it's like anything else, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, so if somebody wants to keep chirping in his ear about that ordinance so he doesn't drop the ball, it would be greatly appreciated.
There is a lawyer in Spirit Lake that'll write a letter free,
It'll what?
they'll write a letter free to the IU board.
You guys already did that, you guys already
We
wrote
already
that
did
letter.
that.
Yeah, are you just
Right.
talking?
I mean, for private landowners that,
Well,
Thank you, that's all I was, just
Okay.
wanted to follow up on that.
do I have a motion to approve the claims and conservation claims and election claims?
So moved.
Motion by Stecker. Second by, I'll second it. Any discussion on the claims? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Just the one.
These are all payroll. We got 2 weeks. Somebody thought we needed an election. No monthly update from the secondary road foreman, so we will go to the Cassuth Regional Center monthly update.
Good morning, and thank you for adjusting the schedule. We've had probably the snowiest weather so far this year. If we're lucky, it'll be the last, right? So, I'll have Colette go through the finances, and then I'll go through a few other things with you.
Yeah, as you can see, from some of the reports that were provided, we're really starting off the year strong, a little better than expected. We're posting an operating income so far this year. A large piece of that is, like I talked about last month, due to our in-pay patient volumes on the third floor. It's really a mixed bag of what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of RSV, but it's not a lot on our third floor. It's mostly in our respiratory care clinics, so that's been good that we're able to treat those and they aren't going to get to that point where they have to be up on our third floor. And our clinic revenues are usually high the first couple months of the year due to different patients needing to get their wellnesses in before their insurance deadlines. Everyone waits right up until the deadline to get theirs done for their health insurance. Looking ahead for what we expected for our budget to eventually see an operating loss for the fiscal year is really due to the wage increases that we know that we will need to continue to give here at the start of the calendar year. The market is really changing all the time, and we definitely have to stay aggressive to keep our staff all intact. So we haven't quite seen that data yet, but we're working through that and knowing that we might see a significant adjustment again. And any questions on the finances?
So as Colette mentioned, we're seeing a number of pediatric viral illnesses right now, especially in the outpatient area, into our respiratory care area. We've been seeing some of those kids needing to be hospitalized, but, for the most part, they've been able to be treated successfully on an outpatient basis. That is consistent with, I think, what's happening across the Midwest, so certainly something we'll hear more about. There's currently a significant shortage of pediatric beds across the country. So kind of similar to what we were hearing in COVID, where there's a shortage of ICU beds, now there's a shortage of pediatric beds. As a result of that, we really to reflect on that, the hospital foundation has approved the purchase of an additional Vapotherm. So a Vapotherm is a piece of equipment that really manages respiratory illnesses in adults and kids. And so it's something we'll be able to use interchangeably. We have 2 on site, but we'll be adding in a third, and we just placed the order for that earlier this week. So thanks to the foundation for that. As far as our foundation goes, they just had the most successful ever legacy ball. And each year it just seems to be getting better and better, but I think they netted about $91,000, a little over $91,000 at the legacy ball. So good turnout by that, and a great turnout, from our staff for that. Mark Davis was recognized as the legacy honoree this year, so he's a legend. Which is pretty exciting. He's a legend to us for sure, those of us who have worked with him over the many years. We're actively working on recruitment. We're looking at recruiting an additional physician to replace Dr. Amy Shanson, who retired, and I shouldn't say retired, but left the medical practice to care for her children at home earlier this year, so we're actively looking to replace her. We're also looking for some additional mid-level providers to help support the emergency department in particular. So a couple things that we're working on right now. We're finalizing the plans to replace the maintenance shed that was consumed by fire this last summer and needs to be replaced. And we were just notified that we were recognized by the Chartist Group, which is an independent group that mines data for hospitals, that we placed in the top 25th percentile or the top quartile for patient quality. So that's a really significant achievement, and the first time ever that Kossuth Regional Health Center has been recognized in the top quartile for any of the 3 areas that they do. So that's where we're at right now. What questions do you have of myself or Colette?
I see you've got all your stuff replaced that you lost in the fire.
Not all of it. but we're working on it slowly, slowly but surely. Some of the things just simply aren't available, and some of them, quite honestly, even if we had it, we don't have a place to store it right now. I do wanna call out, you guys, you've been really extremely supportive and generous in terms of letting us store things in the, what was the hardware building? So that's been extremely helpful. I don't know what we'd do without that. So, until we actually have a place to put some of the things. I think our vehicles are pretty much replaced.
Vehicles are restored, yeah, that was,
We've got one that we haven't replaced it, and we're really evaluating whether to be intentional or not, whether we're gonna do that. We may not replace one of the vehicles. But we've got the others replaced. We have a way to remove snow, or at least from basic snow removal. Thank heavens.
Especially
Need
today.
it, right? So,
exactly.
It's gonna snow.
I hear that. We're in Iowa, I don't know.
We thought maybe we'd go a winter without it.
I know, I was hoping
Save
for
all
maybe
that
just a week in
money.
February.
Yeah.
Just a week, yeah. Any other questions?
People keep getting born yet out there.
They do,
That's amazing.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
It is amazing. Those are the people who will care for us someday, so we're grateful for every
Good,
work
take
we
good
have.
care of them.
We do, we do. It's a great obstetrics program.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Yes, have a great day.
Dan,
All right. Well, good morning, everybody.
Dan?
I'll give you the latest update here in my world. Month of October was pretty busy. We had 41 calls, a lot of messages, had over 70 between coming in on email and snail mail. 48 walk-ins, 26 appointments. We repaired 2 hearing aid sets, did 3 military funeral honors, and was out of the office 11 days, but that was primarily because of my conference down in Des Moines. Currently, with VA, I've got 29 open claims. I've got 13 that I'm developing, and I have 8 that are ready for decision by VA. I'm continuing with the VA healthcare enrollments, especially focusing on the post 9/11 veterans due to the PACT Act changes. Working again with the commissioners, and I talked with them here last week at our Thursday meeting. I'm going to continue to develop a cost analysis for an agenda item in the future, proposing to go from 3 commissioners to 5 commissioners. So I'm still developing that. I completed the suicide prevention training of question, refer, and persuade. That was also offered by the VA. I completed a briefing by the Camp Lejeune changes that came out with those presumptive conditions by the national headquarters for service officers, the legal department, because there are those who, if they do file a civil lawsuit for a condition resulting from Camp Lejeune, and they're also getting paid for the same thing from VA, that will affect their benefits. So I needed to make sure that I was squared away on that. With the increase in COLA through Social Security, those veterans that are receiving disability compensation can expect to receive an increase in their compensation between $100 to $130 typically. So that'll go up as the cost of everything else. We also was involved with a celebration of life for Officer Terry Freilich, former officer of the police department, participated in that. Tomorrow, weather permitting, I've got some pension training over in Clarion with the district president and the rest of our district team to review changes there. Big picture, long range, working with the Iowa leadership team of my state association couple of things I'm kinda voicing and wanting to try and see if we can impact on. One is the Iowa code as it pertains to the Department of Veterans Affairs at the county level. The other thing is, and I don't know, I gotta talk to my leadership on it, but I would like to see a statewide standardized training program. We have 60% turnover rate in the state. We lack a standardized training program and integration mentorship program for new VSOs that come into this discipline. And with that, would also like to have a standardized software program for taking care of those database of records that are absolutely vital in submitting the claims to VA. And right now, there's like 3 or 4 different programs. What I'd like to do is model the state after what other states have done, where they have a standardized training program, they have a standardized software program, and if a veteran from Cassuth County goes down to Polk County, I transfer the record, but everything is integrated and seamless. So there's no disparage about level of services, level of the veteran getting taken care of, it's standardized. Kind of a big chunk to chew on, but gonna try that with the new commandant at IDVA once I get a chance to meet him. Lastly, I'm in the last 30 days of my free trial for VetPro, since I'm converting over from VetRespect. I've been in touch with the onboard team and the software development team. I've sent them several things that I think need improvement with the program. One of the things that I will do is give them an executive summary of my feedback over the last 90 days, and then contingent upon completely converting over, there would be some must-haves as far as the reporting feature. The reporting feature in VetPro could stand to be improved significantly with respect to those types of awards that were granted in a month, 6 months to a year, and see what that looks like. So those are just some of the things that I'm working on. We had a full plate here the month of November as well. Again, I want to thank you for Operation Greenlight. I got a lot of good feedback from that. Helped participate a little bit with the Moving Veterans Forward radio telethon somewhat. Did not make it up to the Hunting for Heroes, but I was told it was another blowout. A lot of people took advantage of that. A lot of veterans got some help. So, subject to your questions, that's all I have at this point.
Any questions for Dan?
If not, you know where my office is at.
Yep.
Come
Thanks,
on
Dan.
over.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
We are up to Canvas general election that was held on November 8th. Review the abstract of the vote.
Is it okay if I give you the abstract and then have you guys approve or deny and then pass it down for signature? Is that okay?
Yes.
So, United States Senator Michael Franken, Democrat, 1,925 votes. Chuck Grassley, Representative, 4,781 votes, scattering of 9 votes, for a total of 6,715 votes. United States Representative, District 4, Ryan Melton, Democrat, 1,668 votes. Randy Feenstra, Republican, 4,864 votes. Brian Jack Holder, 99 votes, a scattering of 2 votes for a total of 6,633 votes. Governor and Lieutenant Governor, Deidre DeGier and Eric Van Lacker, Democrat, 1,592 votes. Kim Reynolds and Adam Gregg, Republicans, 5,030 votes. Rick Stewart and Marco, I don't know how to say that name, sorry. 113 votes and a scattering of 1 vote for a total of 6,736 votes. Secretary of State, Joel Miller, Democrat, 1,685 votes. Paul Pate, Republican, 4,977 votes, a scattering of 1 vote for a total of 6,663 votes. Auditor of State, Rob Sand, Democrat, 2,359 votes. Todd Halber, Republican, 4,256 votes, 0 scattering for a total of 6,615 votes. Treasurer of State, Michael Fitzgerald, Democrat, 2,424 votes. Robbie Smith, Republican, 4,211 votes, 2 scattering for a total of 6,637 votes. Secretary of Agriculture, John Norwood, Democrat, 1,358 votes. Mike Nag, Republican, 5,329 votes, a scattering of 1 vote for a total of 688 votes. Attorney General Tom Miller, Democrat, 2,367 votes. Brenna Bird, Republican, 4,294 votes, scattering of 4 votes for a total of 6,665 votes. State Senator District 5, Dave Rowley, Republican, 5,498 votes for a scattering of 86 votes for a total of 5,584 votes. State Representative District 9, Joseph Tillman, Democrat, 1,553 votes. Henry Stone, Republican, 3,616 votes, 0 scattering votes for a total of 5,169 votes. State Representative District 10, John Wills, Republican, 1,070 votes, Dan Wall, 203 votes, a scattering of 2 votes for a total of 1,275 votes. Constitutional Amendment 1, yes votes 5,178, no votes 1,337, for a total of 6,515 votes. Supreme Court Justice Matthew McDermott, yes votes 3,973 votes, no votes 1,309, for a total of 5,282 votes. Supreme Court Justice Dana Oxley, yes 3,700 votes, no 1,456 votes, for a total of 5,156 votes. Court of Appeals Judge Paul Ehlers, yes 3,951 votes, no 1,216 votes, for a total of 5,167 votes. Court of Appeals Judge Gina Batting, yes 3,806 votes, no 1,263 votes, for a total of 5,069 votes. District 3A Judge Shane Mayer, yes 3,866 votes, no 1,156 votes, for a total of 5,022 votes. District 3A Judge John M. Sandy, yes 3,948 votes, no 1,168 votes, for a total of 5,116 votes. District 3A Associate Judge Shauna Ditzworth, yes 4,001 votes, no 1,099 votes, for a total of 5,100 votes. District 3A Associate Judge Ann M. Gales, yes 4,502 votes, no 1,010 votes, for a total of 5,512 votes. County Board of Supervisors, District 1, Galen Casey, Democrat, 529 votes, Carter Nath, Republican, 930 votes, scattering of 0 votes, for a total of 1,459 votes. County Board of Supervisors, District 3, Donnie Loss, Democrat, 610 votes, Joshua Wachter, Republican, 730 votes, 0 scattering, for a total of 1,340 votes. County Board of Supervisors, District 4, Kyle Stecker, Republican, 1,075 votes, a scattering of 71 votes, for a total of 1,146 votes. County Treasurer Nick Graham, Democrat, 5,554 votes, a scattering of 96 votes, for a total of 5,650 votes. County Recorder Karen Benschooner, Republican, 6,060 votes, a scattering of 46 votes, for a total of 6,106 votes. County Attorney Todd Holmes, Democrat, 5,201 votes, scattering of 179 votes, for a total of 5,380 votes. County Hospital Board of Trustees, Greg Penning, 4,822 votes, Brenda Borman, 4,922 votes, Conley Nelson, 4,301 votes, a scattering of 43 votes, for a total of 14,088 votes. This one, there was to vote for 5, and there was only 4, so one of the scatterings will be the 5th member if he or she accepts it. Soil and Water Conservation, no, I'm sorry, this is for Soil and Water. No, ignore that last comment. Soil and Water Conservation District Commissioner Nancy Boyle Foreman, 4,716 votes. Luke Snyder, 4,417 votes, scattering of 18 votes, for a total of 9,151 votes. County Agriculture Extension Council member, this is where the race that there was 5 openings and only 4 people ran. Brad Busher received 4,540 votes, Julie Larson 4,204 votes, Troy Daniel Kane 3,881 votes, Charles Borman 4,364 votes, a scattering of 197 votes, Phil Divis 17 votes, for a total of 17,203 votes. Phil Divis did take the most votes for that fifth position, so if he accepts, he will be the fifth member. And public measure KA, yes, 4,153 votes, no, 2,401 votes, for a total of 6,554 votes, which declares public measure KA to be adopted.
We usually sign all these before we approve them. Is that all right with the rest of the board? Or do we approve? Okay. So, do I have a motion to approve the abstract vote for November 8th, 2022 general election? So moved. Motion by Platt, I'll second his motion. All those in, I'll do a roll call vote.
Stecker,
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
Lots,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Jerks.
Yes. Motion carried unanimous.
And there's multiple sets, so I'll have to do that first, and then
If
put them all together.
Pass it down. We'll let them pile up here.
They get out of order, doesn't matter.
That's, no, that's not. Ready for another general election?
That's
File up, so we don't mix up 42 with others.
I'll grab this file.
okay. It was only first years that you took it. Okay. Who was the guy that you?
Okay, this is a two separate here. This is with Nikki.
Well, the yours is coming out here.
I think they're even in order.
There you go.
That was just the top and then just the first page.
Just the first page, right?
You bet.
Just blank. Two signs.
It was caught on the signs, you know. And just the front on this.
Get them all sorted out. Next on the agenda, approval of liquor license for Billy D's Bar and Grill. Anybody wanna make a motion to approve the liquor license? Motion by Platt, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Loss, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carried. Can we move the purchasing limit down to right before we do Doug's, so you can read it? Does anybody have objection on moving that around?
It's fine.
We'll go to the annual approval of the weed commissioner's report. You have it in your iPad.
There.
How we doing, sir? Not too bad, how are you guys?
Good. Was it a busy year, Aaron?
No, not terrible. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it was gonna be, I guess, which is,
Okay.
I mean, either good or bad, you know, nobody was calling in or, but, yeah, I mean, pretty much everything I had, just make a phone call. I mean, sometimes it took a couple days to hear back from somebody, but they'd call back in, either they were gonna get on it or they had intentions of getting on it and the weather wasn't working out. I mean, I know a couple times, a couple guys were gonna get stuff sprayed and it was getting hot and dry and, you know, it was gonna be tough to get good control. As hot and dry as it was there, and once in a while we had the odd rain, caught them in there, but it hadn't made it back out since that rain, but.
Sometimes the pasture ground's a little hard to.
Yeah, and that was one pasture that, I didn't get a complaint on, I just saw it, happened to see it driving down the road, and, the way the creek winds through there and everything, and it was tough to get in and just to get control on it, and, but, I know they ended up having somebody fly on,
What it is.
and, yeah, so, and then they went out afterwards, and, I know they chopped a bunch of them down once they were good and dead, and I know they said it was tough for them to get out there, cause it was sketchy enough, they didn't trust a hired man to do it, and they wanted to do it themselves, so if something happened, you know, but. And everything, when I go back out afterwards, you know, given time, a couple of them were fields, some organic fields, where they just, their walkers, their crews just hadn't quite gotten there in time. Before it looked really bad, but every time after they were there, I mean, for everything, was significant improvement, so. But,
So you
We'll
think,
never
that-
get rid of 100% of the weeds.
no, yeah,
so you think thistles are a problem, huh? For years has found a problem in the county, bull thistle, Canada thistle.
well, yeah, and, I don't buy the weed on that one, should have been rode in there.
I was gonna say, there's more button weeds out there than thistles.
Yeah. But. Yeah, that was I know I forgot that one in there, but, and I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's other weeds out there that are more problematic in spots, but I mean, I can't go and inspect every single weed patch,
No.
I mean, so,
Well, I think giant ragweed getting to be a problem in the road ditches
yeah,
and fence lines.
fence lines, yards,
Yeah.
I mean, but,
It's not a noxious weed yet though.
no, that's not that I could see, and I couldn't find another name for anything that fell under any of.
What's anybody else think to that? I've not read that, so.
Yeah.
The problem is you spray your field around it, but it hits the fence row, it kills everything, it kills your grass, so then you have weeds come.
Yeah.
Anything else for Aaron?
Nope, good job.
Looks good, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
if
that a
there's
motion
anything
to
that,
approve then, Mr. Casey?
Yeah, I'll approve it.
Okay. I have a motion by Casey to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Stecker. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thanks, Eric.
yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
We have some transfers made by our auditor. Take a minute to look at the transfers, please. Anybody have any questions on the transfers? Would we have the record show that we acknowledge the transfers made by the auditor? We got that coming.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doug. We are up to Mr. Stecker's agenda item. Limiting purchases per department without supervisor's approval of $5,000. I think you put it on the agenda, Mr. Stecker, correct?
Yeah, I brought it up when we talked about the claims last time. I know there was discussion about repairs and stuff like that, but I guess the item specifically, last meeting was not a everyday repair, it was something I believe that would've been planned out, is that correct? Doug,
It,
I mean,
it was a replacement. We have a power washer, we needed another.
so is that something that came up suddenly?
I don't know, it wasn't sudden.
So yeah, that was kind of my point, is we have a rule that everyone's supposed to follow, and brought it up for discussion, I guess.
But you're not saying like if he needs new blades for the grader, he's gotta come to the board every time?
No, that's
Bolt
not,
stuff, this,
it says,
general maintenance.
yeah, and that says 5,000 per item, so they're not $5,000 a blade.
What were those teeth ones gonna be?
The bits, but didn't we have like 80 or 100 of them?
I mean, they're only what?
The V-Pix,
Yeah, they put
yeah,
on
they were
3 or 4, 5,
They were a little bit over $5,000 a piece.
but they were good, I've seen them do it. But you asked us about those, if I recall, didn't you?
I don't know if I asked, I said we were purchasing it. I believe in,
Kinda like the trucks, you don't ask, you just get quotes and then we okay them.
The agenda item says $5,000 purchasing limit per department without supervisor's approval. So you're gonna have to make a motion to that, or
No, we already made a motion the first meeting of the year, I didn't have an issue with that, I mean,
So what do you want done here?
I wanted to discuss the purchase for the power washer in specific that I had recently brought up doesn't really fall in that, under those rules.
what was the motion?
the motion on our agenda is to review $5,000 purchasing limit per department without supervisor's approval. So if it's something to do with the power washer, you're gonna have to make a separate agenda item and put it on.
It would have been from the January 3rd meeting, I will find exactly what it says. Motion by Casey, second by Lost, to approve the spending limit for any one item of $5,000 for elected officials and department heads. Prior authorization from the board of supervisors will be needed if the dollar amount is above $5,000. Is the language in the minutes from January 3rd.
But if you're replacing something, ain't like he's just going out and buying it, you know, like if we don't have something I'm getting at, then he just goes out and buys it, he should ask us, but if we already had one and it broke, you're just replacing that part. You know, if it's something I'm getting at, if something's new, like something we don't have totally, then in my eyes, yeah, you should ask us, but if you're just replacing something that broke,
But I mean, Derek comes in for software when our term of 3 years or whatever is up. I mean, it's not like we're gonna run the county without our computer software, it gets approved and moves on.
Well, I don't think we approve every purchase and repair item for the road department.
That was my point.
I don't think it's feasible to have a meeting every time Doug spends $5,000 to fix something.
We didn't talk about repairs, or I didn't say that specifically, it was more planned purchases.
Well, some of the repairs are planned purchases. You're kind of getting into a gray area here where you're overseeing something that we approved in the budget to agenda. Want to make a motion on something, or?
No, I don't.
Like I said, I guess my opinion is you replaced it, I don't see nothing wrong with it, he's just gonna go out to buy someplace, and if it's over 5, yeah, you should talk to us.
So what do you want the record to reflect?
The record already has what I just read off.
I guess my opinion is next time it comes up on a claim, the claim should be denied then or something, that's the way it reads or whatever.
I guess for today, I'd say no action then, not hearing anything.
Let the record show that no action is taken.
May I just make a couple statements,
Yes.
please? A $5,000 limit in the secondary road department and one item is would be very difficult, and I would ask if that's gonna be the case, that the board would meet more often than once a week. One item that can be interpreted a lot of ways, but we have software ourselves, drafting software, that we renew, and I think the last time we renewed it, it was $15,000. We have survey equipment. When we need new survey equipment, that sometimes takes more than $5,000. $5,000 in a $10 million budget, that's 0.05%. That makes it very difficult. And I don't know if you're talking about construction claims, road right-of-way purchases, outside labor, equipment rental. Sometimes we don't know what equipment rental is gonna be until we're done with the machine. There's also extra work sometimes that needs to be done. Right now, got Reading Gravel, they're removing some dirt, extra work down there on the McGuire pit. There's situations that decisions have to be made. And if it's gotta be on the board's agenda this last time, I think with the holiday on Friday, it came out on Thursday afternoon. If we needed to make a decision, it wouldn't be till next Tuesday. That could delay a few things. So I would hope that the board would have enough trust in me, the secondary road department, that we would be doing the right thing. Thank you.
Discussion and approval, construction in the right of way.
There is no request.
Nothing in zoning?
No, there's not. No zoning. Do you, we can discuss a few things, I guess. Secondary road department?
Thank you.
The Irvington Bridge, they had planned on pouring it today with the weather. The way it's forecasted, they postponed that. Up on the four-way bridge, box culvert, that is complete now. We are watching it, making sure that it's maintained. Resurfacing is completed to the point where all there's left is stop bars to be marked. This is being called the Becker Bridge up by Lakota now, section 11 of Lincoln Townships. They've got 2 pile beds driven and riprap placed on the north end. They're gonna be placing riprap on the south end. Gravel crushing is complete. Reddings is now replacing some strip material against the toe of the area that was mined to keep that road stable there. Ledyard Wind Power, they are reclaiming. They are attempting to finish by Thanksgiving. We took over blading the roads last week, getting those in shape for snow. Cassuth Wind Energy, the very same thing. They're hoping to be done by Thanksgiving. We have open positions in the mechanic shop. Laverne, we had a resignation. We had an interview on that. Lone Rock, we had resignation, and we are interviewing for that position. Titanca, I have 2 employees that retired from the Titanca shop in the last week. So we're gonna be effective December 2, we'll be down 2 employees in Titanca. The transfer station operator position, I'm in the process of getting the interviews going on that. Transfer station manager, I've been visiting with Dustin Hanson, and I'd like to put that on the agenda to appoint Dustin the manager of the transfer station next week. So I'll put that on for the board to approve that. Snow removal ordinance. I did put that in your electronic folder. I don't, if you want a paper copy quick, we will go over that ordinance. All right, this ordinance, it was passed June of 2021. The purpose of the ordinance is establish the policy and level of service of maintenance for our secondary road system during the winter months. The level of service is to be implemented within the amount budgeted in our approved county budget. The Cassuth County engineer or his designee shall implement the removal of snow and ice on all of Cassuth County secondary roads. Each winter storm has individual characteristics and must be dealt with accordingly. It's important to realize that every storm is not the same. Cassuth County's existing snow removal equipment will be used to remove the snow. We will not necessarily have the entire width of the road surface completely clear of compacted snow, ice, or frost. And we even state in our ordinance that snow can be expected to accumulate next to the roadway and at intersections. And these accumulations will restrict visibility of motorists. We do state in our ordinance motorists should reduce speed and drive with additional caution during poor conditions. We do not put out any additional warning or regulatory signs to warn motorists of dangerous situations due to winter weather conditions. Paved routes, they have our first priority for snow removal, followed by unpaved routes with residences. Snow may not be removed from unpaved routes designated as level B or no snow removal. Normal snow removal operations will be between 5 a.m. and 6 p.m. Snow removal equipment may be called off the road if conditions produce a hazardous working condition. It is not the policy of Cassuth County to provide a dry pavement condition. After snow has been cleared, some intersections, hills, curves, and other parts of the secondary road system may have sand or other abrasives placed on them. Cassuth County will not clear snow from private drives. Snow operations may deposit snow on private drives, and snow from private drives shall not be deposited on the roadway or shoulder. And Cassuth County will assist in emergency situations. We do prefer that the emergency situation be reported through a 911 dispatcher or the sheriff's department. So that's just a brief summary of everything. Unfortunately, we plowed a little snow yesterday, we're out plowing today, and, see what this afternoon brings, but it looks like tomorrow as well. So. I did, I think it was the beginning of last week, I got a call from Dave Burma, and he's requesting to trap some beavers that are in our Hutchins pit. The Hutchins pit is right to the east of Wesley on the south side of Highway 18, evidently in our, the ponds there, the cells that we've taken gravel out of, there's some beavers in there. I am planning to just give Dave permission to do that. My thinking there, the beavers are something that we do not want. I'm sure Hancock County is in the same position. And if Dave is respectful of everything and doesn't cause any problems, it'd be good to get the less desirable mammals out of the area.
Yeah, there's a large tree over there on the south side of the road that's a big one. And if it goes down, it could go, if it went north, it could go through the high line wires. And,
Okay.
that might, be proactive there, take the offensive maybe, cause I think that'd be Hancock County,
This is on the north side of 18,
south
South.
side.
south side of 18.
They've got, it's a big tree, they've got it pretty well chewed all the way around. Could go, if it goes down, it could be
I'll take a look at
cause
it, Jay.
damage. That one probably shouldn't be taken down, but that might be Hancock County, or is that private on the north side?
We'll have to take a
South
look,
side.
there's a property line between Geis, that's still in the Geis family on the west side of our pit. And on the east side, it's actually private.
Okay, so, well, that could be problem so if it goes down.
Okay,
Did you say it's by the Eagles Nest?
I think it's on the west side of the creek, if I remember right.
it's on the west side of the creek and that's private land, I think. Privately owned.
Would it be outside the road right away for the state?
No, probably not.
Maybe they could get it then.
Gotta get the critters first.
I would think the Alliant Energy probably would want to fall under.
Right.
Well,
Right.
yeah, especially in the middle of a storm.
Other than that, that's all that I have.
Okay. Anything else for Doug? From the board?
How about the bridge, 169?
I was up there, they were Fort Dodge Asphalt was supposed to be putting in asphalt, and I saw some trucks last week from Fort Dodge Asphalt up there, and then they had guardrail to do. And they were hoping November 15th today, that they would have that open. However, they are removing snow on a detour route right now, and not Highway 169. I do know that, so. The DOT that's their responsibility, the detour, during these types of events, so.
Can we get them to do the, landfill road, cause there's people that come around the east there as well, that was pretty heavily traveled this morning.
That's not part of the official detour, they're only taking the official detour, so.
What's the policy on, manure haulers? For
As far as,
dirtying up the road?
Roger?
If they call,
Roger and I, we
if they
discussed
call
this,
us about it, we try to track down who's responsible for it,
and
whether
I
it's the
try to
farmer
stop
or
people as
the
well.
manure contractor. And then we ask them to get a loader or something to remove it. If it's deemed that it's, a hazardous situation for motorists.
We try to talk with, if we can get who's doing the application.
Usually
If
what
they
we'll tell them is either you remove it now, or if we call the engineer's office, you're gonna get billed for it. And most of them will go get a loader and try to get it off of there, so.
But we communicate about
Yeah,
it. Sometimes Sometimes we get called and we go out there, sometimes we call Roger and see if, our sheriff's deputy. So we work together.
That guy called me and he made it sound like it's, some of them you chew out and make them clean, and the other ones, you just take care of it and don't yell at them and make them clean it, is what I was told. Depends on the hauler.
I
But you're
will,
treating them all equal, correct?
yes. I don't know if he's talking, I just approached one there at that Penton site, and there was a deputy out there at the Penton site. Actually, we called up the wind people, the wind contractor, they had a blade right there, asked them to scrape it off. But I did ask him, that operator, I just said, it'd be nice if you would not muddy up the road. In that situation, for some reason, where they were loading their manure tanks, first of all, they overfilled the manure tanks,
Yeah, I see it on the road.
and it was dry, but it was the lowest point in the area that they filled the tanks, so any manure that ended up coming out of the tanks went into the field, muddy field, and then they drug it out onto the road. They went out on the road, went about a half a mile, went south and turned east. Manure was actually coming out the top again and dropping on the road. Trying to think who I got water softener salt, and whoever that pickup, wherever he was driving on the road, just smelled terrible of manure. So I ask, I don't yell, I guess, if it's me they're talking about. So try to be proactive about it.
And before we break for lunch, is anybody interested in going to Charles City? I mean, for lunch drainage, we could break for lunch. I still eat lunch at 9 in the morning.
What's in Charles City?
District 2 supervisor meeting.
What day is that?
That's usually the same
Is
day.
that, I was thinking that's
It's on Friday, December 9th.
Okay. No, isn't that the second? Or
What's that?
the IDDA, isn't that the second?
That's the second.
Okay, so it is a week later then?
It's a week after that.
Just that I think normally it falls on the same day.
Yeah, it was
It used
discussed
to.
at the last one, did not have it on the same day, so they must have listened.
So if anybody's interested in going to the meeting on Friday, December 9th, let somebody know.
They don't know a lot of that one, they just brag about their county and what they've done.
Anything else before we take a break for drainage? Roger, or you're here for drainage, aren't you?
Brian is, no, I just stopped in.
Okay, thank you. Rod, you got anything besides drainage?
No.
Okay. Take a 15-minute break.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. What are you doing, Annette?
Oh, you're really coming down, so.
I wondered about that. Thought we'd be here to check.